We tried this last year and it worked really good. What we're gonna do is soak the seeds first. So you need all the supplies. We just have 5-gallon buckets. We got 3 of them. I'm gonna try, because we've got 2 different seed types, I'm gonna try one in each one of them and then a mixture in the third one. So really easy one is whole oats. We got both of these from Tractor Supply, so it's pretty inexpensive, but essentially it's just a big bag of grass, and it works really good. It gets you nice thick leaf blades, and we used this one specifically, same exact thing last year. And then this one is a mixture. It's just a birdseed mix. So it's got millet, milo, corn, wheat, sunflower seeds. And so we're gonna try this one out as well, because chickens are just birds. So even if they don't sprout, they'll just eat the seeds regardless. So that works out. But we got all we need, 5-gallon buckets with the lid, because basically we wanna soak the seeds in water, get them to ferment a little bit, kind of loosen them up, germinate. So that way, when we actually spread them out in the chicken yard, they will, in theory, grow faster, and then we won't have to lock the chickens up as long. So anything we can do to keep the chickens have access to the yard while these are fermenting in the buckets, because once we spread it outside, they're gonna have to be locked up until they actually take root and grow a little bit, so they don't just immediately eat all of them. So let's go ahead and fill up all of these buckets with the seed, and then put some water in there as well. Forgot to mention earlier the mixed seed. So this is what it looks like out of the bag. That was a 40-pound bag. So between the 1 5-gallon bucket, and we want to leave a gap at the top so that we can actually fully submerge everything. So 1 5-gallon bucket, and then half of it of the next one, that took up the entire 40-pound bag. And then the oats was a 50-pound bag. So filled 1 bucket up, completed the other half of the mixed bucket, and then we still have a good amount in here. So we'll have enough for, if we want to do it again, probably 2/3 of a bucket. So we got these all filled up. We got the mixed bird seed, the mix between the oats and the bird seed, and then just the oats. And like I said, we want to leave about a 2-inch gap at the top so that we can fully submerge, and then also don't have to fill up the bucket all the way to the brim so you're spilling, because these, cheap lids that come with the buckets, they do not, they're not completely watertight, so you don't want to get it all the way to the top, otherwise you're going to be tipping everywhere. But everything's in there, so let's go ahead and fill them up. All right, so we got the water added in here. You can see the top layer is going to float a little bit. It's not going to stay, because the seeds are buoyant, so they're not going to stay like down, and there's not going to be a layer of water on top. They're just going to float up. But you can see I left a small gap to the top, so it's not completely filled up the bucket. We got everything completely submerged, and we'll probably check on these every couple days to see how they're doing. But before we do, because the next thing we'll see is us checking on them, drop below your comment of which one you think is going to germinate the fastest, whether it's the bird seed, the mixed one, or the solid oats. It'll be interesting to see, since we have 3 different ones, which ones are going to germinate faster. But next time you see me, we'll be checking on these a couple days later. So I totally goofed up. I had a busy week last week. I said I'd be out here in a couple days to check on these. It's been a week to check on these, and I can safely say I overfilled these buckets. I did not account for how much it was going to expand, so learn from my mistake, add less to the buckets when you add the water, because it looks like they've just kind of soaked it up and expanded as tall as possible. Hit the lid and stopped, but the stuff on top is pretty dry. Since this is the only one that it's wet, which kind of makes sense because it's got the smallest seeds in here. You can see underneath here everything's nice and wet, so that's positive. Nothing looks like it's sprouting yet. I'll probably give it a good stir. I gotta probably add more water to these and get another bucket and separate some of this out so that it's not as tall. But here's where we're looking. So learn from me, less seeds so you can add more water, and check on it more frequently so we can catch this sooner, so we can split it out sooner and separate it. But so for now, we're gonna separate it and see if we can get a little bit more room in here. So big surprise, turns out I'm terrible at checking these seed buckets. First time I said it was gonna be a couple days. Second time I said it's for sure gonna be a couple days. It has been a week both times. So here's 2 weeks in, let's see what they look like. All right, here's the first bucket, still extremely full. Nothing really looked like it's happening on the bottom. Man, the second one, the pressure is unreal. Yeah, this is the mixed one. It smells kind of sweet, like it's fermenting. Again, nothing on the top, but we'll have to see what it looks like mixed through. And then the third one, yeah, nothing on the top either, because I severely overfilled them. But the good news is we're going to be on to phase 2. So the whole purpose of this was to get the seeds started before they go out into the chicken yard, because once they're out in the chicken yard, I have to lock the chickens up, and I want to minimize the amount of time that the chickens have to be locked up. But the other day I had a great idea. So that idea was, which it's going to seem real obvious to some people, but to me, it took me a minute. So this is the chicken yard. We have this permanent fencing all the way that connects down on this side to that Premier One poultry netting that goes around the rest of the length, so probably about 2/3 of it. And the reason that we got the Premier One poultry netting was for 2 reasons. One, the security aspect of it. It's got that electronic charger right there, which makes it electric and keeps out predators. But then twofold, we didn't know when we first starting how exactly we wanted to set up the chicken yard, which we have moved and kind of rearranged it since we first set it up. But we didn't know how we wanted to set up, so we didn't want a permanent fence all the way around, because you could just electrify a normal fence. But so we went with the netting so I can move it, and you'll probably see where this is going. I realized one morning when I was drinking coffee in the front yard, watching the cat outside, and I was like, man, we got that netting so that we could move it. And the reason it hadn't dawned on me is because the entire time we've been here with the chickens, we've always moved it out further because we wanted to give the chickens even more room. We've kind of pushed it back. We started where it was just like a straight line, a little bit back from the corner of the house. Now it's all the way at the corner of the house, and now it's not even a straight line. It kind of bows out back there, basically as far as we could. But then I thought, hey, if I'm worried about letting the chickens out and them not having more space than their normal run and them just being used to go outside of the run, why don't I just move the fence in so that it lines up with here? Here's the gate. So my idea is we'll put the end post here, lining up with this end post where the gate is, and just run it as close as we can to the chicken run, to the back corner and back around. So they'll still have a space to go out and around their normal run, and then this front, like, call it a four-year area for them. And then about, 2/3 of this, so everywhere from here over, we'll plant the seeds, and that'll grow while they're inside the smaller area. And then the second great idea I had was when I was in the last video cleaning out the chicken coop, I thought, hey, I have all the straw, and I've seen, driving on the highway or other build projects, when you're on a slope like this and they want to seed, you put down a bunch of straw so that with the natural rains and when you're watering it, it's not going to wash all the way down, which we had a little bit of a problem that last time because this was just a dirt mound. And so we put the seeds out last year, and then they all kind of sloped, and so right at the house we didn't have much growth. So we put the straw down. I just put it in a bunch of piles, and as you can see, the girls are working and they're spreading this out. And so they got a nice all spread it out for me. So I think we're good to go to initiate phase 2, and that's going to be move that fence in, kind of lessen this area, give us an area that we can put the seeds in that the chickens can't get to. And yeah, so let's get that fence moved, and then we'll start spreading it out. Okay, so here's where we landed. Got the fence set up from here all the way down given how long it was, we had an extra piece, so it was a little jut out, but they still have their area in here to go all the way around the run, hang out outside or in their run. And then now we have this whole area to fill up with seed. And I took the tarp off the top of here. This is a little hangout spot in this little omelet run. So took the tarp off so rain will get in here. And we'll get the seed down just in time because it's gonna storm soon. And it's supposed to rain pretty much every day this week. So perfect timing to get these seeds in and let Mother Nature take its course and hopefully grow up some nice grass for these girls. We are with all the seeds spread. It's kind of hard to see, but you can kind of see little piles right there. But see all the way back there, seed spread everywhere. Like I said, it's getting ready to rain, so just in time, got a little seed spread, and then keep you guys updated if anything sprouts. This took a little longer than anticipated. This has been about 2.5 months, but as you can see, very successful growing vegetation for the girls. That stuff back there is very tall, but the window's very tall. And so most of this bigger, taller grass is going to be the wheat seeds that we tried, the horse feed, and you can see that it's gotten to the point now that it's starting to seed itself. Let's see, so it's definitely time to get these girls in here before everything starts to die out. I just wanted to get to the highest it'll be and the biggest it'll be, so it gives them the longest amount of time to take it down. Then you can see natural, just regular grass growing in here. For that, some weeds throughout here. And then I also I didn't show it, but I got some just standard grass seed and put it in here as well. So this is kind of the lower down stuff, because you can see most of the high stuff's back towards that way and got shorter this way. But these girls have been waiting for 2.5 months. You can see what it looks like where they live versus here. So I'm gonna move the fence, and then I'll show you guys enjoying all the new grass. Here's a better shot so you can see how dead everything is over here versus where they're at now. They're enjoying it, kind of getting hidden in there. Some girls are a little hesitant because they haven't had access to it in so long, but vast majority are enjoying it. So mission accomplished. It's been a success. Took a little longer than I would have liked, but all in all, worked out. So now they have it until it dies out in the winter or they kill it first. So guess we'll see which one comes first. But thanks for watching. From Sweet Potato and the rest of us, until next time, stay Pyrfect.